From just outside the Smith Center in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, this is TargetIllustrated.com. I'm THI staff writer Jacob Turner, and alongside me, as he usually is, THI publisher Andrew Jones. And Andrew, in this video, we're going to be hitting about 3 reasons why Carolina fans, anybody surrounding the Carolina program, should be optimistic going into next season. Obviously, it wasn't a great season for the Tar Heels this year, finishing 14-19. A lot of injuries, just a crazy season for us. I know us covering it was a very weird season to cover from start to finish, really. But AJ, first thing we're going to talk about Carolina's incoming class. Got a lot of commitments coming in 2020. Not only a lot of commitments, but a lot of good guys. I guess they got 5 right now. We do expect a 6th to come over the next couple weeks. We'll see how things continue to unfold. But Carolina's class right now, you got a lot of talent coming in. I mean, Caleb Love, Dayron Sharp, Kessler. I mean, just a lot of guys that can come in and make an immediate impact. But I think that's a big reason to be optimistic going into next season, especially when you consider last season you got Baycott and Cole Anthony coming in. Maybe didn't live up to the standards, but there's a lot of factors that kind of went into that and maybe why that didn't ultimately happen. But when you got a little bit more volume coming in this season, so I think, and a little bit more talent, I think, overall. So I think that's a reason to be optimistic going into next season. And
they're going to join a more fortified group,
yep.
More experienced, more proven players.
Yeah.
Garrison was the guy.
He was the guy, yeah.
And it took him till January before he became the guy this season. If you look at his production, it's kind of so-so. He's run 11, 12 points a game. And then Georgia Tech came. 35 and 11, everything changed for him. He will continue to do that.
Improve, yeah.
The incoming class joins that group. And what they bring, Dayron Sharp, everybody I've talked to that's seen him play, and even some people around here, he's a guy that plays right away and will help.
He's good.
I mean, not all these kids live up to what the projections are. Armando probably didn't live up to it this year, and that's not a slight to Armando. That maybe people should adjust their projections.
Yeah, exactly.
Nasir Little had some struggles. People thought he was going to step in and be a star from the outset. They didn't know Kobe White would be a star.
No.
So you really don't know what you're going to get with these freshmen. Sometimes there's a guy that comes along, you feel pretty good that he's going to be at least solid. I think they think Dayron's going to be at least solid. They need Caleb Love to be better than solid. He's going to be the starting point guard next year. He needs to be Kobe-ish, maybe not with that kind of production, but to quickly assimilate as Kobe did. And I'll never forget the Kentucky game in Chicago in the locker room after the game when Kobe, they lost. They didn't play very well. And Kobe was kind of identifying the different things they didn't do well, from where guys were on the court to communication to some of that stuff. And I knew at that moment, I told you, I said he's fully connected.
Yeah, he's got it now.
He understands, and he's going to really take off from here. And he did, and they did. They got a lot better not long after that. Caleb needs to be on the fast track, maybe even sooner than that.
Yeah.
So he needs to be a game manager, and then he needs to be a producer. He needs to make sure guys get the ball in positions to score. RJ Davis. People think this guy could be a little bit of electricity off the bench. Maybe start. Depends on what happens with Anthony Harris. Depends on what happens with Andrew Platek. If Andrew plays with confidence, he's a guy that can help them consistently. And then you got down low, in addition to Dayron, you got Walker Kessler. The other of the 4 McDonald's All-Americans. We've mentioned 4 McDonald's All-Americans. Kessler's a really nice player who's going to help this program a lot over the next couple of years. Could help them a lot next year. I think he'll be in the rotation. From everything that I know about him, from the people who watch him a lot and know him, they believe that he will at least be a solid player as well. So Sharp, people believe will be solid. Kessler, people believe will be at least solid. And they expect that at some point Caleb Love will get it. He'll be solid. Puff Johnson, the 5th guy coming in, Cam's little brother, may take a little bit more time, but he's the shooter of the bunch.
He's the shooter with the
and they need shooters.
They do.
So we think they're going to go out and get another shooter or 2 before this recruiting cycle's over. One, certainly an incoming freshman, who knows with what else. But Puff, if they don't, Puff's going to have to play and have to put the ball in the basket, because they're going to need that element to go with what could be an extremely deep front line.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Best front line in America, Sharp, Kessler, Baycott, Brooks.
That's big time.
Whatever you get from Sterling Manley, if he's ready to help it next year.
That's big time.
My understanding is he's going to stay around. Wow, that's a good front line.
Big time, yeah. Speaking of that front line, Brooks and Baycott, you have to assume they're going to continue to improve. I mean, Brooks had such a big jump this year. You would think his numbers would continue to rise, it being his senior year next season. Then you got Armando Baycott, who showed glimpses this season. Had some really good games. Another Oregon one you mentioned, and another that kind of stands out a little bit.
Yeah.
He's had some games where he kind of showed glimpses. For him, it's about maturing more. He said all the right things after the loss to Syracuse and what he's going to work on the offseason, so one would expect him to get a lot better too. That front line next season, AJ, is going to be dangerous, not only because of the incoming freshman, because if Brooks returns, which everything we hear right now, we do expect that to happen. If Baycott returns, we do expect that to happen as well. I mean, you got those guys that have experienced before, and then you got some guys coming in who are fresh, who are really talented. I mean, it could be a scary proposition for any team in the country next season.
Keep in mind, the Oregon game was before Armando screwed up his ankle against Ohio State.
Yeah.
He struggled with adversity.
He did, yeah.
And that was the biggest bout of adversity he had individually this year. And he had a tough time with it. He's admitted that multiple times. He admitted it in January. He admitted it last
straight up
week.
about it, yeah.
Yeah, and he kind of had to learn how to fight through the grind. He had to learn to kind of play at the big boy level every day. You got to bring it every day. You can't ever slack off.
It's different.
Your low point has to be a high point.
Yeah.
You have to be like this all the time. And that's what it took him a full season to figure out, which he admitted to last week. And I think he started seeing what parts of his game work and what parts of his game really need a lot of work. Says he needs to get his ankle stronger, his lower body stronger to deal with that. And that will help him play more through contact. He had trouble playing through contact this year.
Yeah.
Upper body definitely needs to get stronger, but your explosiveness starts down low.
Yep.
So he's identified all the things he needs to do to get better. And guess what? He still averaged 9.6 points and 8.3 rebounds
solid.
a game.
You can't be mad at that for a freshman.
He went double-double against Duke. He went double-double against Virginia Tech, it was.
Countless.
And then everybody just kind of, like they had some kind of virus go to them, not to make light of it.
Good reference, though.
In the Syracuse game. So he was showing an uptick. He only played 22 minutes of the 3-game win streak. I think he was aware of that. And when he was able to play again when they went to Duke, he kind of manned up a little bit.
Yeah, he kind of showed that, yeah.
And if you just hear what he says and just watch the way he carried himself, those are all hugely positive things if you're a Carolina fan and you're interested in Armando Baycott. And Brooks averaged 19.9 points from the Georgia Tech game on.
He's just a beast.
He probably won't need to average that next year. If he does, maybe they're not as good as we think they can be.
Yeah, true, because he's carry a load a little
Absolutely,
more.
But he did it. And he got so much better. He added so much more to his game, and he can get a lot better. He needs to be a consistent free throw shooter throughout the year. He shot 83% over the last 4 games from the free throw line. 5 games, I guess it was. Before that, he was shooting 56%. If he hits those free throws throughout the year, maybe he's first team All-ACC.
Yeah.
Maybe they win a few more games. Not to say that they lost because he didn't hit free throws, but it would have enhanced their chances to win those games. He's got to be that guy throughout the year. He cannot leave points on the floor. And I think that will be a point of emphasis for him in the offseason. Their front court, even without the freshman, will be
still
really good.
Yeah, still good.
Now you add Kessler and you add Day'Ron Sharp. That could be the best front court in college basketball next year. In fact, going into the season, I'd be shocked if any other front court is rated ahead of Carolina's.
Yeah, I'd be shocked too. We talked about players getting better last point. Roy's going to get better too. If you think anybody's hurting more about this season than Roy, then I think you're sadly mistaken on that. You could just see the effects on him as the season went on. But to not think that Roy's going to improve going into the next season, is not going to learn from this season, is not going to be more motivated than he probably ever has been to right the wrongs of last season and make an impact and have a really productive year in 2021 and 2021, I should say. I mean, I think you're kind of wrong to think he's not going to be like that. So I think we have to expect Roy to be even better coach than he has been maybe next season. If he can.
Everyone watching this video probably remembers a couple of times during Roy's tenure where he makes reference to having more desire in his pinky than everybody else, that kind of thing.
He does love that saying. Guys,
he is unbelievably competitive.
Yeah.
His competitive juices are intense, okay? They flow. And they always flow. And they're going to flow even more now because he's going to sit all summer and look at that 14. I asked him, was it Louisville?
Louisville, I think, yeah.
In which was, I think, the 7th straight loss. And they were terrible that day. Garrison didn't play, they were horrible. And I asked him about perspective. And I said, or can you kind of put into perspective what you're dealing with right now? Or you maybe wait a month after the season? And Roy is funny.
He's funny.
And he said, and I paraphrase, well, I'm not going to, if I'm still alive by then, I sure as hell am not going to be thinking about that 7-game losing streak and what happened this season. but he will.
Yeah.
In a very constructive way, and he will be far better for this. Don't believe for a minute that a 69-year-old coach can't get better.
No, it's like anything in life.
Learn.
Yeah, you can always improve.
We got a president who's 73. We got the two guys in the Democrats Party who were battling it out, 77 and 78.
Yeah.
The last 4 Democrats were in their 70s.
Yeah.
Kay's 73, whatever.
Yeah, he's up
Boeheim's 74.
You can always improve.
70 is like what 55 once was.
Yeah, it really is, though, yeah.
Roy is fine. Roy's going to learn from this. He's going to lead this program. He's going to be the leader. He's going to set the agenda. He's going to set the morale, set the mood, set the spirit. And I can assure you that he will go into next season intent on exercising these demons.
No doubt about it.
And he's going to have the team that can do that, provided they come together sooner in the season, early in the season. And I think with the group they have coming in, there's a chance of him being able to achieve that. But Roy's going to be better. He does adapt more than people give him credit for.
He does, yeah.
And he learns, and we're going to see that next year. And I like the off season. Got to get a chance to exhale some, but I can't wait for next year to see what he's like. I can't wait for the media day press conference next October in this building right here.
It's going to be interesting
just to hear what Roy has to say.
See, I'm just getting excited thinking about it. But 3 things to be optimistic. A lot of things to be optimistic, but those are, I think, are the 3 main things to be optimistic.
Absolutely.
Going into next season. For StarIllustrated.com, I've been Jacob Turner. He's been Andrew Jones. Thank you guys for watching. Always be sure to like and share if you've enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.
We get it.